Hey guys!
Okay, my first thought was to review every episode weekly. I'm not gonna do that because I felt like the pilot of Brave New World is so good that I have to watch the rest, and I did it kind of in one swoop. Surprisingly, the season has only 9 episodes. That's quite unusual. Standard television is like 22, 23 episodes. Then the new serialized format that you find on Netflix or Amazon is 13 or 10 episodes, but these were just 9 episodes, so it felt like more like a mini series. But anyway, I felt it was good, how the stakes increased and how they went further into exploring this society, and and then have this culmination in a final episode. Now, there are things I find weird. For example, in a second episode, they get stuck in, like I said, this adventure park, this theme park, and then the humans of the theme park rise up and declare this is our land and we are free people and stuff. And I thought in the next episode there's going to be more to that plot point, but it really doesn't show up until like the last episode again, those 3 people, and not even really that, only their leader, but whatever. I know now also the main characters' names, which is Lenina, Bernard, and John the Savage. And it was interesting to see how they are explored, and also side characters and how they develop and coping with their feelings and exploring their own feelings. There was this one club owner or whatever, and she uses feelings to create new sensations in her club to experience. And she was eventually liberated from the societal view, and at the end she's her own complete person. And it was like she even says herself that inside her was a person that she never really knew, and that was her true self. Now, in terms of rebellion plot, it's interesting but not too cliche, because John the Savage, he causes the rebellion both in this adventure park and then in New London, which is this utopia where everybody is on drugs and constantly happy. But he doesn't become their leader or whatever. He's much more an enabler, and I didn't get the symbolism because while Lenina and Bernard were in this adventure park, he gave the humans in a park who work in the park the ammunition so they could kill all these motherfuckers from New London. So he enabled their rebellion, and he does kind of the same thing in New London during the final episodes, because he inspires the working class, and I found it kind of interesting because he tells all these there are alpha plus alpha, beta plus beta, and then there's gamma, and gamma is like the worker class, and he tells them to rise up, but still uses another gamma as his manservant, and that I found strange, but it's not bad. It just adds to his complexity, I think. And learn a little bit more about the computer program Indra, which like controls New London and gives everybody their drugs. So, and I think I should have expected something good, but because Grant Morrison is one of the writers, and Grant Morrison is seriously so good at writing strange material. You know, his Batman and Robin run was really good. His work on Doom Patrol was really good. I feel more conflicted about his work on X-Men comics, but whatever. Yeah. And I think maybe I go more into the series again by really rewatching the episodes on their own and go on with this more insight of how I know this story will turn out. By the looks of it, there is maybe a second season coming, but like I said, it runs on some obscure streaming service. It has only 9 episodes. So yeah, now there are all these characters with John and Lenina, Bernard, and even this C-Jack guy who go through their personal experiences because they're starting to feel, but it's portrayed differently. So for Lenina, it's partially her conditioning and really breaking out of the system, and how her friends and others react to that. With Bernard, it's still, he knows these things, but he still tries to fit into the system and and enforce it and be a part of it. But comes to fail more and more because he, of course, grows attached to John. Now John is the son of 2 alphas, and he would be also an alpha, but because he grew up in this adventure park called the Savage Lands, he simply doesn't know, he simply doesn't know how to really fit in there, and that's why he partially inspires a rebellion, because he doesn't really fit in, and at a couple of occasions he actively refuses to be part of the system. And then there in like the 8th episode, he challenges the gammas, by giving them the choice by either being happy or free, which I don't really understand or get behind, because you can be happy and free. There's no either, there's no can be either happy or free, while happy is so subjectively, and free even more because of how we are shaped by our experiences and what judgments we draw out of our experiences. I'm kind of a strong defender of there being no free will, and sorry if I'm rambling here off. It's just that this show makes me think, and how inadequate this system is when it comes then to the revolution, because everybody's happy, everybody's on drugs. There isn't really a strong need for violence or military equipment. So there's not even the argument made to defend themselves, and since the free people of the Savage Land don't come over to New London, there's no reason to protect them. But if they had come over to conquer New London, the people of the Savage Land would have absolutely won. They would have destroyed them. And we see this in the final episode when the Gammas do what they do, which is cleaning up. But here it's in a more literal sense that they clean up by killing the alphas, So that gives some protection to some of the main characters, and others are just straight up lucky, and they have no guns, they only have these electro sticks or gardening tools to, for example, pick up litter with which you can do the stabby. And like every system, this system was also to fail at some point, No political system holds forever. So, but it was nice to see this future technology and how they live in this city and what keeps them happy and occupied, because there's no really need to work, Every night they go party, they just do it because society tells them. And in the end, find it also conflicting, when one of the Gammas, portrayed by Joseph Morgan, this CJack60, confronts the director and says that the director is responsible, and the director is like, no, Indra is responsible. The director is still responsible because he allows Indra's influence and to control things. He could have stopped it. Indra is shown as very capable and very powerful, but that doesn't mean that it's out of his jurisdiction, or that he can't do anything. Like with every government system, there is no higher power in place that enforces the system, It's more the idea, we have capitalism and communism and Marxism and whatever, all these different political ideologies. Yes, it's an idea, and it's enforced by the people who believe in this idea, and that's also how the knowledge is restricted. So I don't know how fair this TV show is an adaptation of the book, because I haven't read the book, but I might do it someday. Maybe not today, but someday. And then and I also have to consider that the confinements were different in the times that Brave New World was written. So society, or the society we live in, was different then than it's now, and also the political powers and spectrums were differently distributed. And now, on a visual style, it's possibly very expensive, because everything looks so polished, from the effects, from the style. This show must be really expensive, and like I said, it doesn't come from one of the bigger streaming services like Netflix or Amazon Prime. So this must have been a huge gamble, you know. Alden Ehrenreich is in there, and I'm purposely mispronouncing it because normally you would say Ehrenreich, but since there's no CK, no sound in the English language, it's then pronounced as K, so Ehrenreich, which sounds just weird to me because I'm familiar with the German language. Anyway, Alden Ehrenreich, who played Han Solo in the Solo Star Wars movie. There's Jessica Brown Findlay, who was in Black Mirror and also Downton Abbey. And come to think of it, that Black Mirror episode that she was in has some similarities, you know, to Brave New World, but it's not obviously shown that it fails because Black Mirror is much more depressing. There is Joseph Morgan, who is also a very well-known actor, and some other well-known actors like Demi Moore, but I think she was only in the first couple of episodes. So all these actor budgets, you know, all these payments for these accomplished actors, and then the production budget must have been high, you know. So I don't know if it was successful enough to continue a second season, but I would be very glad to see a second season, just because I want to know how the story goes further and if this first season was now a whole adaptation of the book, or if there's more, you know, beyond that. Anyway, that's gonna be it. This video is significantly longer than my previous video about the subject, and we see us next month.
Okay, fuckity